But do you see yourself with the self-belief, the courage, as a big moments player? Would you like to think of yourself that way?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, to be a top player, I think you've got. When I first went to Norwich, because I got the move, everyone was talking about it and stuff locally and stuff, and I thought, I'm going to go there and I'm really going to rip it off and get straight into the team, and it didn't happen. And that happens sometimes. Maybe 3 games into the season, I'd been on the bench for 1 and not for 2. I wasn't even in the squad, and I was thinking, what? Like, what's going on here? This shouldn't have happened. I went in and seen the manager, even though I was young, I'd seen Alex Neil, because that's the type of person I am, a confident guy. I went and asked him what I've got to do, and he said, listen, it's going to be limited game time because we've got players ahead of you at the minute. If you're still young, you can learn off these players. And I said, I want to play. Like, I think the best thing for me, if I'm not in the squad, is to go on loan. And he said, like, I'm happy that you've said that. And then we looked at a couple of loan options over the next couple of days, and I ended up going to Aberdeen on loan, which no one expected. Like, obviously going to Scotland and stuff, and it's probably one of the best decisions I made because I learned so much when I went there and went back to Norwich a better player. And the next season,
did you take things so when you it's like I can only judge it on myself. It's like when I go and maybe do big filming or maybe on TV, I'll always try and come back to the internet and like show what I've learned. Not big time whatever, but show what I've learned. Did you feel like when you came back, you thought, oh, I can't wait to get on the pitch or training pitch?
That was it, yeah. And obviously the next season after I came back, we had a new manager in Daniel Farker. Everyone starts on a fresh slate. So the same players were still there from before that were keeping me out of the team, but I had a different mindset. I really thought, I'm going to show him I'm one of the best players there. And I got fortunate with a couple of injuries and stuff in pre-season, so I got more game time than expected. But sometimes you need them little breaks of luck. And
you've got to take them, you've got to take them.
And once you get the opportunity, you've got to grab it with both hands, and that's what I did. And I played the first game of the season, Fulham away, Championship debut, and I played really well and played 50 games that season, so, and then got a move to the Premier League, so it couldn't have gone better for me when I first played against him. Because I remember thinking, I'm against Kante Saturday. The whole week I was thinking, watching clips on him, thinking, because I don't want to be one of them players who he just goes and takes the ball off and everyone says Kante. So I want to be the player who receives past him and nutmegs him, you know what I mean? He's tough, man. Like, he knows, because even when, he's strong. And even when you think, you know what, I've got a bit of space here, he comes out of nowhere. And do you know what, I actually played well against Chelsea and I got an assist and we won 1-0, but he was still tough. I was on it, I was constantly focused because I built myself.
And when you're on it against someone like that, I'm guessing number 10, you have to find the space, and he probably don't give you. Even when you think, as you say, when you think you've got a bit of space and you're like wanting to receive it, he's there. Like, is that when you say you're on it more, is it more thinking?
Yeah, more thinking, about how you can outsmart your opponent, because the way he plays, it's almost like, it's simple to him. Someone gets the ball, go and tackle him. It's as simple as that. And he's so good at it because he goes and tackles everyone. That's why he was a big part in Leicester in the Premier League practice. I can't tell you how many free kicks I've hit. Like earlier at training today, I stayed out after. Manager has to say, come on, that's enough, because I'm just practicing. Because it's fun for starters. That's why I started doing it when I was young, because I watched Beckham, watched Ronaldo, hitting them in the top corner and match of the day. And I thought, I love free kicks. Always took them, always had the responsibility of taking them in teams because my teammates had trusted me because I practiced. So they come and watch me practice, and I put a few in the top corner and they're like, oh. So when I first went to Norwich and started getting in the team, I thought, I'm going to practice more than ever now to get there's senior players that are ahead of me that are free kick takers as well, but they trust me to take the free kicks ahead of them because they've seen how much practice I put in and the quality I can produce. And that's something I've always loved and relished, putting the ball down 25 yards out of a wall, and I back myself to go and go in top corner. So practice. It's just about wanting to win. I think I've always had that, and I think that's installed in us here at Leicester. That fly back.
He loves you, that fly.
Too much jab, isn't it? But that want to win and that willingness to win, and I've always been a winner. And one of my favourite quotes is, I can't remember who said it. It was, if you show me a good loser, I'll show you a loser. There's no such thing really, is there? I'm a bad loser because I love winning, and that's installed in us here, and we've had a good start to the season. I think if we go on with that mentality, then I think we'll be all right. I mean, I'd never want to come across as arrogant, and I always say that because I said in an interview last week, there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance, and I think if I got on the wrong side, for starters, my mum would give me a clip round the ear, but I'd never want to come across as that because that's not the values that I stand for. I always talk about self-belief and confidence because no one's going to believe in you for you. You have to believe in yourself to start with, and I've always done that, and I've always been someone who's wanted to showcase my ability and my talent, which is football, and it always has been. My dad, for starters, we have a very close relationship where we talk about football all the time. So after a game, we'll sit and almost debrief the game, sometimes watch the game back together. It's literally, I'm not just saying that because we're doing an interview, we actually do. And he'll say, "I reckon you could have done this here," and I'll say, "No, but why would I do that when I've got that?" So we actually go into detail, and never a moment where you can switch off and not do your defensive duties because you get punished. And every camera's on you, so there's no hiding place, because it comes to Monday Night Football, and Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville are stood there pointing you out with a circle round you in slow-mo, so there's no getting away from it, so you have to put the work in. 16 at the time, literally just turned as well, because we might have been just started the scholarship at Coventry, and I remember thinking, this is an opportunity, and obviously you're only 16, but I think I had quite a wise head on my shoulders at that age. Well, I'd like to think anyway. I mean, maybe if I watch back, I'll probably think differently, but I thought this is an opportunity to show here, so I went and demanded the ball off the players, and not everything worked, and I probably got barged over a few times because I was about that big and this thin, but I think I showed him what I was about, the confidence and the willingness to want to go and show him that I'm a good player. And I think he liked that, because I went and trained again the next day, so I must have done something right. Whether it's playing in a school match or in my nan's back garden, to walking out at Wembley last season when we played Tottenham, or Old Trafford, or the King Power, you still get that same feeling of doing what you love. And playing in the Premier League, I always say, is a dream of mine from a young boy, and now I'm fulfilling that dream and loving every moment, relishing every moment. To be a top player, I think you've got to produce big moments in big games, and like Ben Stokes, obviously it's not football, but that's the perfect example. And I think if you want to be seen as a top player and a top sports person in any sport, you've got to produce big moments in big games when the most people are watching. It doesn't matter if you can score a hat-trick in a cup game on a Tuesday in front of 4,000 people. It's that final, that big moment with the world watching, when everyone's eyes are on you, where that's where you really become a big player. Whether it's me or whether you're speaking to whoever, a waiter or whatever.
Yeah, it's basic manners.
Speak with manners and respect, and because I think you should always have manners and basic respect for people, no matter who they are. I've always been a confident young lad, confident in my own ability. Even from this age, you can see, like, I'm trying against older people and stuff, and yeah, I've always been one to believe in myself and be fearless on the pitch. So my aim and my dream is to play in the Premier League, and even when I was playing in League One for Coventry and on loan at Aberdeen, I never came away from that. That was always the end goal, to play in the Premier League, the top level in the country that I grew up in. There is times where you get challenged, and so when I'm sitting on the bench at Hamilton away for Aberdeen, I'm thinking, come on, like, you know what I mean? But yeah, always believe in yourself, trust your ability that got you to where you are, and keep going. I try to set myself short-term targets instead of long-term targets. Playing well on Sunday, scoring a goal in the next few games, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
little ones like that,
yeah,
that keep you going. I think that was one of the key things I showed last year at Norwich over the course of the season, was my consistency. So just want to keep that going, and yeah, keep producing good performances. For me, it's about repetition. So that whenever I practice, whenever I take them, I always like to do the same things, because that's how you get better at it and better at it. When I was young, I think it's important that you watch the players that are at the top, the best at it. I'd watch them players and take little things from them, little tips, listen to them talk, listen to things like this with other players and stuff. And as you get older and keep practicing, you kind of put your own little stamp on it. But I'd watch the best at it. That's the only way you can get better. Watch the best and implement your little style to it. And it's not about forcing it forward. Yeah. I would never play a forward pass if it wasn't on, but your first thought should always be forward. Yes. I always say that to a young player, because don't be the one who stands out, be the one who plays the forward pass and play it with care and technique, and so you don't lose the ball. And that's what got me to stand out at them early ages, of that midfield player who would play forward and take his team forward. And that was something that Richard taught me, my dad taught me, and even my dad still says to me now, well done today, you played a lot of forward passes, whereas someone on the opposite team played simple. And
Do you worry about giving the ball away?
Oh no, if I get it on the back foot, for example, I've got Jamie Vardy ahead of me, who's always going to run in behind. So I'll always try and find him. If it's not on, then I won't do it, and I'll say, Vards, it wasn't on at this point, maybe keep it. But my first thought, yeah, he'll moan maybe, but I'll tell him, I'll show him the clip. I'm normally right. But my first thought will be forward. And then if it's on or not, it's a different matter. But your first thought should always be forward.